All right, so we have Ben and Nolan are taking a road trip and taking turns driving. And Nolan drives 148 miles or 4/9 of the trip. How many miles was the entire trip? All right, so Ben and Nolan are working together on this road trip and they're driving and taking turns. Now, dear Nolan, he is driving, maybe he's driving first, and he drives 148 miles or 4/9 of the trip. All right. And I need to know how many miles was the entire trip. So I'm wanting the total there. So they drive blank total miles. All right. Now I have my starting line here. All right. And we are talking about the miles that they've driven. Okay. And I know that dear Nolan, he's driving 148 miles or 4/9 of the trip. So when I look at my 4/9, I know that 9 is my boss. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. So I have my 9 units there. Had to double check. All right, now I know that Nolan, he drives those 4/9. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the ones that Nolan drives. Okay. And then these are the miles that Ben drives. But what I'm needing to know is how many miles were total. Okay, so that is my question there. All right, so I also have the piece of information that Nolan drives 148 miles, which is what Nolan drives. All right, so Nolan drives 4 of the nights, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can do 100, I need to do 148 divided by those 4 because he just drove these 4. So I need to take that 148 and break them up evenly to see how many goes in each unit. So I have 148 divided by 4. All right, well, here we go. So we have 148 divided by 4. And everyone does division a smidge different. But in Mrs. Sharpley's class, we kind of create a little helper over here where we do 4 times 10, well, that's 40. We do 4 times 20, it's 80. 4 times 30 is 120. 4 times 40 is 160. Whoa, I've gone over. So we're going to use this guy right here, and my 4 is there. And when my 30 goes here, and my 120 goes over here, and then I'll subtract. All right, so 8 minus 0 is 8, and 4 minus 2 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So I have only 28 left. At that point, I would go to my multiplication chart, and I would know that 4 goes into 28 7 times. So I know that 4 times 7 equals 28. So that's the other guy I'm going to use. So I've already got my 4. Here's where I put my 7. I'm going to put my 28 over there and subtract. Right? So I'm left with no remainder, nothing left. And I'm going to add these 2 up. So when I do 30 times 7, then my answer is 37. All right. So that 148 divided by 4, that's 37. So 37 is what's going to go in each of my units here. All right, so I have 9 units and I have 37 9 times. So therefore I can do 37 times 9 to get to the total number of miles, right? So we have 37 times 9. 9 times 30 is 270, and 9 times 7 is 63. So I'm then going to do 270 plus that 63. Ooh, they drove 333 miles together. So that was my total amount of miles in the trip.